we make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something. The other day, I found a real treasure in, of all places, a New York City hotel that was being liquidated. It's an entertainment center in great shape except for one eyesore. But this looks worse than it is. You'll see how easily it disappears. Now, usually those multiple head spa showers mean some fairly serious plumbing. Not this one. It installs in about an hour. Have an attic but no easy way to reach it? That was this couple's dilemma. So I dropped in to help them install a pull-down stairway. If you love your home, you'll like this show. This armoire is kind of special to me. It came out of the Intercontinental Hotel in New York City while they were having a liquidation sale. Now, I like the way that it looks, but it also has some really nice features. My wife and I do a lot of TV watching from bed, and this has got a great pull out and swivel at just the right height. And down here, a real hotel bonus feature, a built-in refrigerator. But because this was a liquidation sale, I had to carry this out myself. And in the process, I broke off the corner right here. It's the only thing about this armoire that's kind of bugged me. So I'm going to fix it right now. Now, this armoire is in two sections. I've slid the top in this direction so that it's overhanging. That'll allow me to work on it more easily. Now, what's going to allow me to make this repair right here in the bedroom is this material. It's actually called polyester resin. You can think of it as a putty with a hardener. I'm going to be putting it on this area here, letting it harden, and then shape it. But in order to keep this from spilling off onto the floor, I've taken a scrap piece of wood, and I'm going to attach this right under here. I spray some WD-40 on the board to act as a release agent and keep the putty from sticking to the wood. Then clamp the board in place. I remove a golf ball size scoop of putty and place it on a scrap piece of acrylic plastic for mixing. This hardener comes with the putty and acts as a catalyst, starting a chemical reaction that will turn the material from really gooey into rock hard. The more hardener I put in, the faster the putty will set up. The amount I added today will give me about 5 minutes of work time. What I'm trying to do here is fill up the void left by the broken away wood. Now, don't worry about being overly neat. The idea is just to get the material in place while it's soft. Now, as this material dries, there's a window, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, when it's firm but pliable, easily shaped. And that's where I am right now. So I'm going to begin removing the excess material. I remove most of the extra putty by simply cutting it away with a utility knife. In a few more minutes, the material will be way too hard to do this. The putty is now firm enough that I can remove the board and begin shaping. Files and rasps work well for this. The tool I'm using, though, is called a microplane. I like it because the stainless steel cutting teeth are very sharp and non-clogging. If it reminds you of a cheese grater, that's because the manufacturer also makes kitchen utensils using the very same technology. With most of the shaping done, I'm ready to start smoothing the surface. Sandpaper wrapped around dowels works really well for this. I use larger dowels for bigger curves and smaller dowels for tighter ones. Well, the missing material has been replaced. Now the challenge is going to be to restore the color and finish. This filler that I put in here won't accept wood stain, so that's not an option. Instead, I'm going to be using Artist's acrylic colors. For this project, the colors I'll use most will be the earth tones, sienna and umber, along with red. I dip my brush in water and mix 2 or more of the colors together until I've got a shade that looks close. Then I apply it to the surface. If the color is off, I just let it dry a few minutes and try again by painting a different color on top. Okay, I've replaced the missing material, gotten the color to match. Now I need to put a top coat on so that the sheen or shine will also match. And for that, I'll use spray lacquer. I keep the spray can about a foot or so from the surface, move it in even strokes, and take my finger off the nozzle at the end of each pass. Several light coats works best. Well, there you go. You'd never know that little mishap took place. And my piece of hotel history, well, it's never looked better.
Ron Hazelton's House Calls is being brought to you by ronhazelton.com. Free home improvement videos online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
This is our guest bathroom, and you know what I was thinking? It'd be really nice to do something special for our friends when they came to visit. Now, I came across this product which converts an ordinary shower head into a hydro massage spa type shower head. They say it only takes a few minutes to put this in. I'm going to try it out. First, I need to remove the existing shower head. It just unscrews from the shower arm. To remove the arm itself, I insert the handle of my multi-groove pliers into the end and give it a twist. By the way, this is a great way to tighten a shower arm too, without damaging the finish. This plastic pipe nipple will replace the shower arm I just took out. 2 or 3 wraps of Teflon tape will make sure the threads tighten properly to prevent leaking. With the nipple properly snugged up, I cut off a few inches of the plastic pipe as directed by the instructions. This is a combination shower head and diverter. It screws directly onto the shortened plastic nipple, leaving it completely concealed. Well, that's all it takes to install the shower head and diverter. Now I'm going to start on the vertical spa unit. My next step is to draw a plumb line downward from the center of the shower head. I place the vertical spa on top of the line and mark the locations for a top and bottom mounting screw. A hammer drill with a carbide tip masonry bit makes short work of the drilling. Into the top hole, I insert a plastic anchor and tap it into place. The bottom hole must be drilled through the face of the tile. A couple of taps on a center punch makes a small dimple in the tile face that will prevent the bit from skating and make sure the hole ends up exactly where I want it. Into this hole also goes a plastic anchor. Next, I attach the vertical spa with screws, top and bottom. Slip on the end caps. And attach the water supply hose to the outlet on the shower head. Well, counting the time it took me to read the directions, and I did read them in this case, I put this up in a little bit less than an hour. And I have to say, this is a nice, luxurious addition to this bathroom. There are 5 heads right here, and this whole unit moves up or down. You can adjust to anybody's height. I'd say the only thing left to do right now is to turn it on and see how it works. Kim and Lloyd Mangan of Eugene, Oregon have asked for some help installing an attic stairway. I'm going to pay them a house call.
Hi, Ron.
Lloyd.
Nice to meet you.
And who's this?
This is Marty.
Hey, Marty. Good to meet you.
All right.
So this is the project right here, huh?
This is our garage.
So as you can see, we desperately need storage space in here.
Sure do.
The solution to Kim and Lloyd's storage problem lies just overhead in the attic above the garage. There's plenty of room there, but they need a convenient way to access it. A pull-down attic stairway is just the ticket. This pre-assembled unit will fit neatly into a hole we'll cut into the ceiling. Where we place that hole is important. The ladder folds down in 2 sections. We must position the opening in the ceiling so that the unfolding sections clear walls and other obstacles. We also want to make sure that the base of the ladder falls in a convenient spot.
Yeah, I think if we start right about here, that would give us enough room to get to the front.
Using masking tape, Kim marks the spot where she wants the bottom stair to land. We work backward from there and calculate where the edge of the opening will be.
Okay, Lloyd, so you got your 8 feet there?
All right, we've got 8 feet right here.
Okay, great. All right, guys, now what we want to do is transfer this mark on the floor right up here to the ceiling.
Okay.
And we'll use a plumb line to do that, or a plumb bob.
Okay, that sounds great. How's that?
Up a bit and over
Lloyd
toward me.
moves the upper end of the plumb line around until the weight is directly over the tape on the
Okay,
floor.
that looks perfect. Mark it.
Got it.
Then he marks that location on the ceiling. From here, we can easily measure and determine where the 4 corners of the opening will be.
Okay, we're going to measure 54 inches.
Okay.
Before we do any cutting, though, we've got to take a look at our proposed opening from the attic side to make sure that we won't encounter any wires, pipes, vents, or other obstructions. Using an awl, Kim punches small holes through the drywall at each corner and inserts a wooden dowel. Wood is safer than metal for this, just in case we were to contact electrical wiring. Lloyd and I head up into the attic through a small access hatch to see how things look from the top side.
Well, Lloyd, here are the 4 corners of that opening. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm a little concerned about these 2 over here because they're so close to this framing. When you come up here, especially if you're carrying something, you're going to be stepping off right in between these, and I think it's going to be really cramped. So what I'd suggest is that we maybe move this a little bit more in this direction, which will put it at the bottom of the ladder, closer to the door. You'll lose a little bit of room there, but you'll pick up more space up here at the top where I think you really would appreciate it. So how do you feel about that?
That sounds like a good plan. I think we should do that.
While we're up here, let's clear out some of this insulation. Okay?
Clearing the insulation away allows us to make a careful check for other potential obstacles.
Well, we do have some wires over here, but they're well out of our way.
Okay, good.
The good news is everything else here is perfectly clear. Well, time for my favorite part of this job, ripping a big hole in your ceiling.
Yep, this will be the best part.
Nervous?
A little bit.
It's only the ceiling, as they say.
Since the ceiling is made of drywall or wallboard, we'll cut out the opening using a small wallboard saw made just for this purpose.
Try to get a rhythm going there. Yeah, right down the line.
So what do I do when it sticks?
Well, are you trying to push on the teeth? Slice bread. Slice salami. Slice cucumbers.
That I can do.
That's good.
Can almost say, oh, there it is. Okay.
Looks like we've got a hole.
The ladder we're installing today, like many, is designed to fit between the existing ceiling joists, so we won't have to cut any of those away.
Quick quick check for square right here.
We attach the header by nailing through the joists and into the end. Check for square, then repeat the process on the other side of the opening.
Okay, you got
Now we need to attach 2 temporary supports or ledgers to the headers that we just put
Screw
in.
this in place with about 4 screws, but the clamp will keep it in position while you do that. Okay? Okay, now I was pushing with you that time. This time I'm not going to push at all. I'm just trying. That push up though is really important. Anytime you're using this tool. Perfect. That's perfect. Push up. But don't... Okay. You got it. All right. Good job.
Thank you. I need to take off for my other lesson now.
Your other lesson, what's that?
I'm going sailing today for a racing clinic.
Great.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Well, Lloyd and I'll finish this up.
That's great.
When you come back, you can start storing, huh?
That's great. I can't wait. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
The next job is to cut away a brace that runs through the opening. The headers we put in earlier will take its place. Now we're ready to lift the stair unit into position.
Excellent. Okay. All right. All the way through. That's good. That's good. Let's set it down.
It's heavy and a little awkward.
All right. Now it's going to come back. I'm going to drop it right in the hole.
Now this
here.
is where those temporary ledgers we installed earlier come into play.
Come to push it to me a little bit.
They'll support the ladder until Lloyd and I have a chance to attach it in place. Once we have the stairs positioned where we want them, Lloyd inserts wooden shims between the frame and the joists, and we nail the stair frame into position. Once everything is secure, we trim off the shims.
That's it. Okay, Lloyd. It's looking good. Let's see how close this comes to our mark here. Well, just about right on the money.
The
huh?
rails or legs on attic ladders must be trimmed to the correct length. Lloyd and I measure from the upper section to the floor, transfer the measurements to the lower section, and carefully cut the bottom off at an angle.
Look at that. Perfect. It is perfect. All right, now for the moment of truth.
Okay.
As a friend of mine once said, I cut some off and it was still too short. I like that, huh? We don't want to do that on this. Definitely we don't want to be short. That looks very good. You see, these are in contact with the floor. Okay, go ahead, give it a try.
Okay.
Let me know if you feel any falling sensations there.
Feels great.
Solid?
It's very solid.
Trim molding or casing installed around the edge of the frame gives our installation a finished look.
Here you go, Lloyd.
Thank you, Ron.
First box.
All right.
Well, there you go. Give my regards to Kim.
I will.
Enjoy the new ladder.
We will, Ron. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. You know, they say that beauty is only skin deep. And I think that's particularly true for wood because it's the surface of wood that you see. And nothing can affect that surface more than sanding. A hacksaw blade mounted to a piece of wood makes a great sandpaper cutter. Fold your sandpaper into thirds. Use this section first, then this one, and finally this one. Always sand with the grain. Sanding across the grain can leave bad scratches which will become really apparent when you stain. Someone once said, a healthy attitude is contagious, but don't wait to catch it from somebody else. Be a carrier. When it comes to tackling home improvement projects, as well as life, attitude isn't everything, but it's about 90% of it. So go ahead, dive in and have at it. Thanks for watching.
To view today's projects again, visit ronhazelton.com, where you'll find hundreds of how-to videos available 24/7. Free home improvement videos online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.